Okay, it just jumped from third into neutral when I accelerated. That's just mental. How do you jump from third to neutral? Welcome! We are here today with the R18 Transcontinental, the biggest of BMW's big boxers. Today's video is a first ride impressions. We've just gotten it. We're going to keep it for a few days. But today I want to know what it feels like when you get onto it for the first time. I wouldn't call it a surprise with the R18, but the review that I did for the original R18, it took me quite a few good couple of hours to actually start liking it. I didn't like it at all in the beginning. It's big, it's beautiful, it's loud, but let's see if it actually rides well. Alright, so we are in the rock riding mode, the most aggressive out of the three. We're going to try the roll one as well. The rain is basically just use it when it's raining. I have immediately fallen in love with the sound that comes out of the exhaust. It's very deep, it's very throaty, it's very, I don't know, very Americana. Yeah, you see, on a turn like this, even this one, we're doing 50, and I feel the need to counter steer because the handlebars want to point into the ground. So BMW it's a lot better than the original R18, but I think it would be nice if the bike was shorter, which is my personal opinion. Okay, so let's take a look at how it handles in the city. Again, with me on it, you're looking at more than half a ton. Not bad, not bad. And now let's flick it left. That was easy. I know this gets overused a lot by everybody. The moment you start rolling off, you don't feel the weight anymore. You do. With this one, I think you do more than other bikes because it's longish. But I think the only problem you are going to have with the weight is basically when you're maneuvering it at like 0 or 1k an hour or something like that. This version of the Transcontinental comes with central locking as well, a feature that I dearly love. If you need to pull in quickly somewhere, get something from a shop, just switch your bike off and that's it. The bike will lock both the side cases and the top case, and you don't have to worry about anything. We're at 1,500 RPMs. There's no jerkiness, and I was expecting jerkiness at slow speeds from such a big engine, but there's none of that. What would have been nice from BMW is if they would have put a cubby hole somewhere, because at the moment you've only got a phone holder here and a fuel filler cap here, like a tiny little cubby hole where you can put your gate remote or something that you might need on a trip, that you might need quick access to on a trip. That would have been nice. One of the big complaints that I had with the original R18 when I rode that was definitely the suspension. It was very short. I think it was about 90 millimeters. They've upped that for the Transcontinental and the Bagger, and it's now 120, and I want to know if it makes a proper real-world difference. The suspension is not adjustable, absolutely at all, but on the rear, what BMW have done for both the Bagger and for the Transcontinental is that they've made the preload auto-adjustable, which means that whether you're riding alone, riding with luggage, riding with, your other better half, the bike should always stay at the correct level. Okay, this road is definitely bumpy. The suspension is wonderful for a cruiser, and definitely compared to the base R18, it's a lot better. I'm getting a bit of wind on my shoulders and on the top part of my arms here and the bottom of my legs, which is weird because it's got these very big wind deflectors there at the bottom. But it's a comfortable ride. It's a pity everything is grey and looks so sad, but I'm smiling on the inside. The windshield, it's a pity that it's not adjustable, but it's doing a good job at the moment. I'm again 1.8 meters, 5'11", and I'm sort of... No, it's going straight over. It's going straight over my helmet. But for people that might be taller or shorter and they don't want to stare through it, I really wish BMW would have made an adjustable one. You can buy the bagger one, that's a lot shorter, and put it on the Transcontinental and vice versa. But I think an adjustable one would have solved everything. Yeah. It's not a slow bike. It's definitely not a slow bike. Even with the 91 horsepower number, we don't have any limitless autobahns in Romania, but I'm sure I saw a video from Scott from Nothing to Prove. He lives in Germany, and he tested the top speed of the Transcontinental, and it was about 190 k's an hour, 115 miles an hour. But I don't think that's a very comfortable speed to ride this for a long time at. We're in 5th, we're doing 90, and it's sitting at 2,500 RPM. There is a huge difference if you're in the right gear with this bike compared to when you're not. Because if you're sitting right here, like right now, 2,400 RPM, it's like Aladdin's carpet. I'm not feeling anything aggressive, anything that I should be feeling. But the moment you go over that 3,000 mark, it's a different beast. It's not a lot of vibrations. It's not like, you know, I'm not comparing it to a tractor. And we have some sun. It's amazing. Look at that. It was raining the whole morning, and now we get a bit of sun. I have to say that I'm absolutely loving these analog dials over here. This old school heritage look. It looks like I'm in a plane cockpit here with the analog ones, and right beneath it, this huge, more than 10-inch tablet here. Best of both worlds. Old school, cool looking, technologically practical below it. Now we have to wait for a train, which, by the way, in Romania can take anywhere from like 2 minutes to 70 minutes. You never know. While we wait, let's talk a bit about the bike as well. Hill hold control, that just kicked in now. Basically, we're on a bit of an incline here, so I don't have to keep the brakes pressed in absolutely at all. To enable it, it should have an automatic mode as well. Well, it does it automatically, but this one seems to be set to manual, and you enable it by squeezing the brake lever twice. Look at that, train's coming. I have had a chance to play with the TFT a little bit until now since I got the bike. It wasn't the smoothest of implementations. I mean, it took me about an hour to actually get my phone connected to it, to actually play some music off of the speakers. We'll talk about that a bit more in the full review. But yeah, I was expecting the whole procedure to be a lot smoother, and it wasn't. Especially with the BMW connected app, that thing could be done a lot better. With the Transcontinental, they've actually changed quite a bit from the original R18. It's not an R18 with just a bigger bat wing and some speakers and some luggage. It's not that. The chassis got a bit of a workup as well, because obviously you're going to be loading a lot more weight onto a Transcontinental and onto the bagger. So that got reinforced where it should be reinforced. They also played around with the geometry of the bike as well. They made the wheelbase shorter. They also played with the rake angle. They decreased that. They moved the suspension forks backwards, and basically what all of this means to you is that the bike should be easier to control when you're turning left or right, back roads, when you're trying to do tight maneuvers in town, slow speeds. I'm in love with that exhaust. I've heard good exhaust before. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good exhaust, but they mainly lied on sportish bikes, sports tourers. The engine sound, however, I'm not a big fan of that. It just sounds too whiny. It's like it's got this electrical whine. Ergonomics, seating position, let's talk about that for a while. Obviously this bike was meant for the American market, the biggest cruiser market on the planet, and as far as I know, Americans love their forward foot controls and they love to rest their legs up front. I'm not that type of rider. I've never ridden a bike with forward foot controls or highway pegs where I needed to rest my feet on highway pegs for longer rides. This seating position for me seems very natural, and I fully understand and I respect that. For the hardcore cruiser riders out there, this is just going to be hell for them. The seating position is a very laid back, adventure-ish one. Your back is basically straight. The handlebar has a very nice shape where your hands are very loose, so you're not taking a lot of strain. And the seat, I've been sitting down now even before filming. I've been on the seat for about an hour and I have absolutely no complaints. I think it's a good seat. We'll obviously test it properly for the main review. I want to find a place to stop and actually play some music. This looks like a place. Dogs. Look at that. There are 70 million dogs there now. Find a place in the middle of nowhere, you can't stop because there are dogs. Let's stop it for a while. There's a little cubby compartment here for your phone. I don't think it's going to fit larger phones, but I will be testing that as well. Let's play some music. Let's pause it for a while. There is way too much bass in there. We've got an EQ, audio settings, sound profile, bass boost. That's why. There you go. Balanced. See how it sounds now. Marshall definitely did a pretty good job here. It's very loud. We're going to test out the speakers some more on the highway. I want to see what they sound like at 120, 130 k's an hour. I'm 100% sure we're going to lose all of that bass and all of that clarity because wind. Alright, let's try another one of its little tricks. It's reverse mode. Because again, at almost 430 kilograms, you're going to need a reverse gear. Make sure you're neutral. Then underneath there's a little switch. I don't know why they put it underneath, because of heritage reasons. And now R will come up on your dash and just push the starter motor. It's starter operated. It goes about 2 k's an hour max. When you're done, lift it up again and that's it. Pricing is $25,000 for the base version of the Transcontinental. I highly doubt you're going to see any of those on the road. Top of the range ones will go for about $32,000, which is this one, as far as I know. The road is finished. I have no idea what this is. Is this oil? Are you riding on oil? Is this considered off-roading with the Transcontinental? Am I off-roading right now? No, I'm not. Just a bit of gravel. Alright, let's try the radar system. We're gonna slide this little cover over here now. Activate it. It's at 90 k's an hour. It's set to 90 k's an hour. And it's doing 88 because there's a big truck in front of us. There's another little button here that you can set the distance that you wanted to follow the car in front of you. It doesn't just work on trucks, obviously. It works on cars of any sizes and motorcycles as well, which is good because if you're riding with your buddies, you can set it and only the guy that's in front has to worry about doing the acceleration. Everybody else can just stay behind and follow him. I like this, and not only on highways, I like it on back roads as well, because you can set it and you know that whatever happens, look, this guy came in now and we're already slowing down to 81 to 80. This is what I'm saying. You can spend a lot more time taking in the views left and right and not having to worry about actual throttle control. if it's safe to do so. Depends where you're riding. You can also change gear when you're riding. We're in 5th now. If we change down to 4th, cruise control will continue to stay activated, which is good. I'm not in Romania anymore, by the way. I am on the Autobahn in Germany, where there are no speed limits. Alright, that's where I am, and you can't prove otherwise. But even at 160, it is extremely stable, which is good, because those are the type of roads that it's meant to ride on. I decided to get off the highway so we can chat some more, but everyone's going really slowly. We're going through all sorts of traditional-ish Romanian villages. These guys, for example, seem to have harvested their crop. It's a crossroads here, and people are just selling their harvest. Cabbage seems to be. Cabbage, and more cabbage. And cabbage here as well. And pumpkins. Seems like they all grow their own stuff. They've got fields outside the little town. And then they just sell it here. See, even at slow speeds, the huge weight of this bike doesn't really bother you. I mean, you can do slow speed maneuvers without a problem. It's been what it feels like a lifetime, and I'm still following cabbage at less than 30 k's an hour. Now there's another one in front of that one. This is great content. It's not boring at all. Again, it would have looked much better, much more rustic if it wasn't overcast and grey and completely depressing. Alright, so first impressions are a lot better than they actually were on the first R18. BMW has managed to take that platform, which definitely wasn't meant for long distance riding, and make a long distance tourer out of it, which I think I would be happy to sit in a saddle for 8 hours, and well, not consecutively, obviously, I'm not crazy. As I was saying, I'm going to keep riding it for a few days, find out exactly what its strong points are and what are its weak points. I've never met a bike in my entire life that didn't have any weak points. It only had strong points. So like, share, subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the full review one.